So, as we know, the fight against Jean Pascal and Sergey Kovalev took place this Saturday evening, and it all panned out as we expected, with the Crusher getting the victory. Freddie Roach hasn't really been with Pascal long enough to add anything new to his game plan, except for being a bit more cautious. But instead, we saw Kovalev pretty much dominate the fight, and I thought Pascal started to wane from round four, and round five was even worse for him. And Roach was even saying, "Look, if you don't show me something, I'm going to stop this fight." And again in round six, Roach was like, "No, I can't let you go out there." And Pascal persuaded him to let him go out, in the seventh round. But it wasn't worth it, in my opinion. I mean, personally, I wouldn't have let him go out for round seven. And when Freddie Roach eventually did stop the fight, you didn't hear Pascal try to argue with Roach about stopping it. So he knew he was pretty much beat. But, all credit to Pascal. I did feel a bit sorry for him at the end, to be honest with you. He did show a lot of emotion, and it was hard. But at the end of the day, I didn't expect anything less, and we know why the fight took place. I did mention it on a previous post. It is a money fight, and made sense for both parties for it to take place. But I knew that the Crusher would beat him convincingly. And like Tubac says, I came to bring the pain, and that's what Kovalev's all about. Kovalev was like, no one likes Pascal. Everyone in Canada was telling me to kick his ass, and he was willing to let the fight continue so he could punish him some more. So he showed a really cold and calculated side. He made it very clear that he just doesn't like or respect Pascal. And in my opinion, as I said in my previous post, Pascal doing all that trash talk didn't really help him in the fight, because Kovalev was like, this is personal now, and I really want to hurt him. And I think in the press conference before the fight, the last press conference, the Pascal bringing out the racism card, and I think that really got under Kovalev's skin, and it just looked like he was throwing punches with really bad intentions, and that was the end of it. But I mean, the entertaining bit obviously was at the end when Sergey Kovalev called Adonis Stevenson Chickenson and started to make duck noises, maybe implying that he's ducking Kovalev. I don't know what went on there, but obviously the fans really want to see the highly anticipated unification fight between Sergey Kovalev and Adonis Stevenson. And Stevenson made his way into the ring and started arguing with Kovalev and hollering, "I'm the champ," But to be honest, I just don't see the point in anybody doing that. I mean, the fight isn't going to happen. It's not going to happen for a long time. So I think it doesn't really make any sense. Both of them hollering about, getting a fight arranged, because it just looks like that it's not going to happen. They're not going to arrange it. So it's pretty pointless. And it was similar to what happened with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, when, Fury went into the ring and started talking to Wilder and challenging him, and it just looks a bit WWE-ish, if you want me to be honest. Now, I mean, a lot of people think that Stevenson ducked Kovalev by signing with Al Heyman at a time when the Kovalev Stevenson fight was pretty much imminent. After Kovalev's first fight with Jean Pascal, he was made the mandatory challenger for Stevenson's WBC title, and then the fight went to purse bids. Now, around about that time, Kathy Duva, who is the CEO of Main Events and the promoter of Sergey Kovalev, pulled out of the purse bid because it was very unlikely that they would have. It was very likely, that they would have lost it to Al Heyman, who is Adonis Stevenson's promoter. Then the fight would most probably have been aired on another network, and that would have created problems because Kovalev is contracted to fight on HBO. So if Al Heyman won the purse bid, it wouldn't have been televised on HBO, so it would have created a problem. So that's why Kathy Duva, according to her, had to pull out the purse bid. But I mean, why get into a purse bid in the first place if you know, that you're not willing to see it through. You know, by going into a purse bid that there's every chance you're going to lose. So I don't see the point in starting it in the first place. But maybe she thought, well, let's just go for it, and then realized afterwards that it just wasn't possible, and then they decided to pull out. So obviously they had to pull out because of that. So it's really boxing politics again, just stopping the fans from seeing the fights that they want to see, and preventing the best from fighting the best. And I think it's a shame because Kovalev can't fight on another channel. He's contracted to HBO, so the fight cannot go to Showtime or any other network because, as I say, he's just contracted to fight on HBO. So it just pretty much looks like the fight isn't going to happen. So I think obviously another highly anticipated fight that the fans want to see is the Andre Ward versus Kovalev fight. Now we know Andre Ward signed a deal with HBO, and he's going to have some tune-up fights, and hopefully he's going to get an opportunity to fight Kovalev in November sometime. So that is something that we're all going to be looking forward to as well. Now we all know that if Super 6 Andre Ward, shows up, then anything can happen. But he's been so inactive over the last few years that does it make sense for him to kind of go into a fight with Sergey Kovalev? We know he's a genius, there's no question of a doubt about that, but he's just been too inactive. Personally, if you want me to be honest, I don't see anybody beating Kovalev. I don't think Stevenson beats him. I think Kovalev's too strong, and I don't even think Ward beats him, simply because of the inactivity, and I just think Kovalev's too strong. But we'll see what happens. Anything can happen in boxing. Things change so quickly. Let me know your thoughts. Please like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Thanks for listening.